Suppose you're interested in downloading some data about a foreign country, like GDP, unemployment, some macroeconomic statistics. One place you can always start is at the Central Intelligence Agency's World Factbook. So you can just go to this www.cia.gov and click on World Factbook, and it'll take you right there. Or you can always Google CIA World Factbook, and it'll take you right here. And for most countries, like if you click on economy here, it will tell you a little bit about the GDP, and it has GDP listed two different ways. At purchasing power parity, tries to estimate how much can you actually buy with this value of money that's earned within the country itself. So purchasing power means how much can you buy in terms of housing and clothing and food and things like this. Another way to measure GDP is at the official exchange rate. What if you wanted to take the money in Ghana currency and exchange it into US dollars, trade it for US dollars? How many US dollars could you get? And usually this figure is going to be lower, 40 billion for Ghana in 2012, as opposed to 83 billion in purchasing power. The big difference here is, for example, if you trade the money for US dollars and you try to come buy a beer in the US with that money, it's going to buy less beer in the United States than if you spend that money in Ghana for a beer, because a beer is going to be a lot cheaper in Ghana. That's kind of the idea here. The CIA World Factbook is a good starting place. Basically what you do is go to the CIA home here, and then over here on the right you can see World Factbook, and you can click that, and then you just select a country from this drop down window right here, and it has hundreds of countries listed, and that gives some basic information. Another good option for international macroeconomic data is the World Bank. So if you go to www.worldbank.org and you want to download some data, click the Data tab right here. And then what I've found to be pretty convenient is to go over here where it has time series indicators in the data bank. This data bank is pretty easy to use. Here it has a list of some of the large countries, but if you want some more countries, click View More Countries right here. And this will give you a complete list of the countries after it loads here. So after you do that, or you can, what I've found easy is to click the first letter of the country. So for example, if you wanted some data on Ghana, you can click Ghana here. Then what you need to do is you need to select three things. You need to select the country, you need to select the series, so click on series here. This has all the series available, but I found it's more convenient to go over here on the left and click whether you want education information, environment, economic policy, health, etc. If you want GDP data, economic policy, and national accounts is probably what you want. So if you want, for example, what are the components of GDP? What are the things that make up GDP? You could click shares of GDP, and then you could just, if you wanted to, select all, and that will add, and you can see over here a list of the things it's going to add. And time. What time period do you want? And if you just want recent data, click say 2012, 2011, 2010, 2009, so you can get a kind of a recent history here. And then what I would select is to make a table out of these variables. And here it will show you what percent of the GDP is agriculture, exports, balance of trade, consumption expenditure. So if you're thinking about C plus I plus G plus net exports, this tells us that in Ghana, approximately 95% of their GDP is C, consumption expenditure. And then here is G for government expenditure. It says it's about 10% of GDP, which you see those things add up to more than 100%. This is a problem with a lot of this data. It's not going to be very accurate. It's odd that this is 95 and that's 10. And then here, capital formation is 18%. I don't know why that is. I can't explain that. But when you're dealing with developing countries, even World Bank data, apparently, it's hard to explain what's going on here. It could also be here, I kind of see what's going on here. Gross national expenditure is higher than GDP. This means that Ghana must be doing a lot of borrowing from foreign sources. And so maybe this is why expenditure is greater than GDP. But that's something you need to explain in a report. Savings as a percent of GDP, imports, and as we saw, exports were up here. So, well, here, household final consumption expenditure, 84%. Maybe this is a better measure of C than final consumption expenditure. Now, if you want to see the details about what some of these things mean, which I'm not clear on, obviously, as I've been talking here, click on the link and it will give you a description of what this means, and you can try to figure out which of these variables match the kind of thing that you're looking for most closely. You'll also notice here that for Ghana there's no data in 2012, and since it's only February 2013 as I'm making this video, for a lot of countries you're probably not going to have 2012 data yet. And if it is there, it's most likely going to be estimates for most countries. So I hope that helps you find some macro data on your countries. Good luck. If you have questions, feel free to send me an email and ask me questions. Good luck.